Hey everyone, if you're an American taxpayer, you're going to want to pay close attention. Your 2026 tax refund could look very, very different this year. We're talking about everything from the amount you get back to how you even receive it. Some major changes are underway, so let's break down exactly what you need to know.
So, will your refund actually be different? Well, for a lot of people, the answer is a resounding yes. So let's dive into why, and we're going to start with a timeline.
Okay, first things first. Let's lock in those key dates and details you absolutely cannot afford to miss this tax season. Go ahead and mark your calendars. The filing season for your 2025 tax returns officially kicked off on January 26th. And for most of us, the big finish line is that classic deadline we all know, April 15th, 2026. Now, to put this whole thing into perspective, the IRS is gearing up to process a staggering 164 million individual tax returns this year. I mean, that is just a massive, massive undertaking. And how are we all filing? Well, the numbers are in, and over 94% of us are now filing electronically. That is a huge shift, and it not only speeds things up, but, as we're about to find out, it's become pretty much mandatory this year. All right, let's get to the part everyone's been waiting for, the money. Are you actually going to get a bigger refund this year? Well, the numbers are suggesting you just might. So, the projected average tax refund for 2026 is sitting at around $4,100. That is the number that a lot of households could be seeing, and, it's a really significant figure. And here's the real headline. That's roughly $1,000 more than last year's average. This isn't just some small bump. It's a huge increase that could make a real, tangible difference for millions of families. You can see that jump really clearly right here. So, what in the world is driving this big increase? Well, it's largely because of changes in tax law. We're talking about expanded deductions and credits, like the child tax credit, that are specifically designed to put more money back into taxpayers' pockets. Of course, once you hit that submit button, the waiting game begins. So how long is it really going to take to get that refund? Let's try to set some clear expectations. For the vast majority of people, and that means folks who file electronically and use direct deposit, the IRS standard is to issue your refund within 21 days after your return is accepted. That's the timeline you should generally be planning for. But, and this is a really crucial but, the IRS is super clear that this 21-day timeline is just a target. It's not a guarantee. If your return happens to get flagged for any kind of extra review, that 21-day clock gets paused immediately. So that kind of begs the question, right? What causes these holdups? Understanding the most common reasons for a delay can help you try to avoid them and all the anxiety that comes with that wait. First up, there's a specific law that automatically hits the pause button for a lot of people. If you claim the Earned Income Tax Credit, that's the EITC, or the Additional Child Tax Credit, the ACTC, the IRS is legally required to hold your entire refund until at least early March. It's a fraud prevention thing, but it impacts millions of households every single year. Now, beyond that specific rule, a few other red flags can definitely slow things down. An incomplete or inaccurate return is a classic one. Sometimes you'll be asked to verify your identity, which adds a step. And, of course, if the IRS system flags anything at all for a manual review, your wait time could stretch well beyond that 21-day window. Okay, now let's talk about the single biggest change to the process this year. This is a genuine game changer, and it really affects every single person filing a tax return. And this is it. We are literally witnessing a fundamental shift in how the IRS does business. The era of the paper refund check is officially coming to an end. So, as part of this huge government-wide push to modernize, the IRS is phasing out paper checks. What that means is direct deposit is no longer just the fastest way to get your money, it's now the standard way. Trying to get a paper check, if that's even an option for you, will likely risk serious delays and complications. It's a big adjustment, for sure, especially for people who are unbanked or rely on cash, but this is the new reality. Finally, let's talk about tracking your money all the way to the finish line. Once you've filed, you're not just left in the dark. The IRS gives you the tools to keep a close eye on your refund's progress. It's actually a pretty simple 3-step process. You can use the Where's My Refund tool right on the IRS website, or you can download their IRS To Go mobile app. Both of these tools are updated daily, usually overnight, once your return has been officially accepted. Now, to use these tools, you're going to need 3 key pieces of information handy, so have these ready. Your social security number, your filing status, single, married, filing jointly, that kind of thing, and the exact refund amount you're expecting, right down to the dollar. So, to bring it all home, when will you get your refund? Well, as we've seen, it all comes down to a few key things: when and how you file, which credits you claim, and whether or not your return gets flagged for a closer look. Knowing these new rules of the road is definitely the surest way to navigate the path to your 2026 refund.